Hey guys, Caleb Ames with Process Outdoors again, and today we're going to be talking about data, and not specific to trail cam data, but weather data. Stick around. In the meantime, hit that intro. All right, so you often hear from all the people on TV and all the people on YouTube. You have to wait for a big weather front, or hey, barometric pressure's doing this, or the wind speed, or wind direction, and quite frankly, it's just a lot of information, a lot of data, and how do you visualize it is my biggest thing. And over the years, I've come to really like the website and the web interface Weather Underground, and I utilize that for a lot of my decisions going into the whitetail woods, as well as when I'm in the woods making a decision. And most importantly, I don't know if any of you guys are like me, but I have 3 kids and a wife, and we are very busy. But I absolutely love the outdoors as well, and so picking your sits for the opportune deer movement is huge. And really, the biggest thing is, how do you pick the right sit? Well, it all depends on the data you have in front of you. So you often hear a lot of people online say, hey, I'm waiting for this big cold front. And what does that specifically look like? If you're looking on your Weather Channel app on your phone, you can see, today's going to be this particular temperature, tomorrow's going to be that particular temperature. But I like to look at things on a broader view, and that can actually be found on Weather Underground. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here on the computer. And essentially, if you go to Weather Underground, you type in your location and you click the 10-day forecast here. And within the 10-day forecast, it has a bunch of different information. And the biggest thing is, yes, you can download the Weather Underground app on your phone, but the app on the phone leaves out one very important bit of data, in my opinion, and that is barometric pressure. I don't claim to be a whitetail expert, but I've found that on big fronts with spikes in barometric pressure, more mature deer move during daylight, and more deer in general move during daylight. So that's really one that I like to key in on. But we can kind of see it here in Weather Underground, and this is actually tomorrow is going to be deer season eve for us here in Iowa, so pretty excited about that. But looking at the weather, it does have some pretty good stuff coming forward for us here into the first week of the season. And looking at this line here, it's the temperature. So we can see that temperatures today peaked out at about 89 degrees, and then tomorrow they're going to be about 88 degrees, and then dropping down a little bit to 82, 76 on Saturday, which is what I would consider a mild cold front, and then they really drop down into the lower 70s throughout the week. But really what I like to look at here is this black barometric pressure line. And with that black barometric pressure line, you can see that it's going down here. We're dropping in barometric pressure, which typically is not good for deer movement, but that's accompanied with some range. So a nice weather change there. But also, after the rain stops, the big spike in barometric pressure goes all the way up to about 20.23, which in my opinion is an awesome barometric pressure value for early October, and should mean some awesome deer movement. So a good example of using Weather Underground, using that data to predict and plan out, particularly 10 days in advance, what sits are going to work best for you. And throughout history, I've kind of tracked trail cam pictures with some of these barometric pressure charts through Weather Underground, and without fail, come late October or early November, I do see a lot of those mature bucks moving when the pressure spikes, as you can see here in this graph with Weather Underground. And so also, it goes into kind of another subset that I want to talk about today, and that is annual patterns. So annual patterns being important in the whitetail woods typically if a buck did one thing during this week with similar weather conditions the previous year, then chances are that he could likely do the same thing within that same week with similar weather conditions here the next year. So a good example would be last October during the opening weekend, we had a big cold front, and we got a picture of a mature deer going through our food plot throughout that time. I think it was in the evening, and you can actually look back in Weather Underground in their historical weather, and you can select a month and a week worth of information from previous years, and you can see exactly what the temperature drop was, or the average temperature for that day was on that particular week. They also have precipitation and wind speed. And then if you scroll down to the summary area, you can actually see some of the sea level pressure or barometric pressure, the max, the average, and the minimum for that week. One thing that Weather Underground took out, which I'm a little disappointed in, is they used to have a line chart of barometric pressure, but for some reason over the last year and a half they've taken that out. But you can still get a flavor for, hey, is it rising or falling throughout the week historically, and compare trail cam pictures and past experiences that you might have loaded onto your computer. You can go into Weather Underground on the web interface, click the historical tab right next to the 10-day tab, and you can type in exactly the week, the month that you're looking at, and all that data is available to you. So a good tip for the group, and really I wanted to get into specifically giving you guys a tool for visualizing, when you hear, hey, a cold front's coming, what are some of these apps or what are some of these web interfaces that people are talking about to help them visualize that. I can confidently say that Weather Underground is my number one go-to for deciding when I want to lobby to get out there and hunt over the next 10 days, and when I'm planning those hunts so I can be as efficient as possible. So encourage everyone to get out to their website, wonderground.com, and check out the 10-day forecast. Take a look at the barometric pressure line and see if some of that doesn't line up for when your trail cams are popping, or if you plan on doing a hunt during that time, it should increase deer movement for sure with that pressure spike. And I think that time always being the essence for everyone, it's a very good idea this deer season. Minimize hunting pressure by being very selective with your sits. And what specifically does that mean? Again, that's hunting during those pressure rising, and then the peak of the pressure as well. And then typically the line graph for temperature, it's always great to see a 10 degree or more temperature drop, which usually influences deer movement quite a bit as well. So encourage everyone to go out to their website, check it out. If you're on your phone and you're looking in their actual app, you're not going to see barometric pressure, but you can go through their website through your phone. I have it saved as a bookmark on my Internet Explorer on my phone, and I typically look at it daily to try and plan hunts. So check it out. If you like this content that we've been putting out, go ahead and feel free to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell. We're going to continue to keep the videos pumping through YouTube here throughout the season, and even after the season, with some educational content. And as we find success in the field, we'll be sharing those stories with you guys as well. We already have some pretty good stories out there between Matt Kingsley and myself. I'm developing mine. We're kind of waiting for the cap of my son harvesting his first deer, waiting for that to happen here in the next couple days. Hopefully we'll get it done. And Matt's son had an unfortunate instance where he was off by inches on a buck. So check out that video on the page, and thanks for subscribing. We'll talk to you guys later.